My name's Felix Holst. I'm an artist, former head of design for Hot Wheels and Matchbox, and I'm a tech executive. So this piece is it's the third in a series that I'm working on. I'm obsessed with late 60s, kind of mid to late 60s into 70s, wide-bodied, fat-fendered, big tired race cars. The cars from that period, the Porsche 911, BMW CSL, Alfa Romeos, all the way into the kind of the American Trans Am series, Camaros, etc. Those are the cars that I absolutely adore. I love a car with wide fenders and big tires. So this one is an Alfa GTAm. It was a later race car. I think they ran from like 69 to in the early 70s, based on a GTV 1750. I love this image. This image, it's so full of power. I love the Alfa GTV and the Alfa Junior, the small one. My dad had one when I was like 5. It was one of the first beautiful cars that he ever owned. And in fact, later in life, one of the first cars I ever directed the Matchbox design team to produce, I have one here, was a GTV Alfa. It's one of the all-time most beautiful performance cars, I think. In the same way that the 911 is beautiful, the GTV is elegant. Of course, it has that classic kind of homemade hot rod thing where later engines can be retrofitted to the smaller cars. It has a race heritage. It's absolutely beautiful lines. And then, of course, when you put fat fenders on the thing, it just looks brutal. It goes from being this very elegant Italian suit to being like a very, very brutal looking wide-shouldered Italian leather jacket. And so this image, I believe the image this painting is based on is Andrea Di Adamovich, Italian race driver. The car that I based the painting on was actually silver, but the ethos of this painting is I wanted to do a red Alfa race car against a blue sky. It was like the bright Italian racing red against the blue sky. To me was, you got the hot of the red and the cold of the sky. And then, of course, as I worked into it, I brought in all of my psychedelic dynamic, my streaking, powerful colors, the noise that I like to bring out in my paintings. And so while the car, the Alfisti will point out probably exactly which car it is, and I could be wrong, I love the image of the car and the shape of the car, but for me, I wanted to do a red Alfa. So this is an inspired by piece, but it's such a powerful image. The thing literally looks like it is distorting under acceleration through a bend. And so, I hope I've captured some of that power and elegance that you get in an Alfa Romeo race car. So I have a fairly unique style. I actually use a lot of different techniques and a lot of different styles in my art. The foundation of it is kind of a graffiti stencil. I came up when I was a kid as a graffiti artist, and I got into cutting stencils about 25 years ago to create. They sit somewhere between a photographic image and a very kind of ethereal painterly image, right? I love the bleed of spray paint. I love the fact that you can control how crisp that is, and you can create a very, very graphic image. But then, of course, I paint into that. The stencil allows me to bring the foreground to the background and vice versa. But I also lay paint on very, very thick. Another technique I came up with years ago when I was wanting to spread even stripes of color on a painting, was to use a credit card. I reached for the simplest thing I could find, and it just happened that I had an old credit card, and I realized that the flex and the size is perfect for kind of laying thick colors against each other and laying texture down on canvas. And then, of course, like I use a lot of color. Like for me, when you see a car in motion, there's flashes of color, and when you look at like 60s and 70s race cars, and you combine the color of the car and the livery, the flamboyance of that time, the noise and the energy of those cars when they were racing, then to me there's a lot of psychedelia in this. There's a lot of colors and layering of colors and fading of colors, and just adding kind of excitement and passion. And of course, you know, I want my art to be something beautiful. I don't want it to be just a kind of picture of a car on a wall. I want it to be the kind of thing that the whole household enjoys. And if you put it in a nice sitting room, it becomes a real focal piece. It brings an explosion of color to wherever it hangs. So kind of, I build up layers and layers, and I constantly play with the translucency of the piece and the kind of, I guess you'd call it lens flare, or maybe it's negative burn or overexposure, where I'll take a shadow, for example, and then I'll just burn the edge with a hot color so that it just seems to be a bit more alive than your kind of standard like painting of a car. It's been a really, you know, a nice surprise, a happy accident. In fact, the passion that I've seen and the interest I've seen from the back community. What started out as a one-off thing for charity, and a way that I could reach a broad, enthusiast-minded community with a piece. Well, the encouragement I've received from listing paintings on BAT has actually pushed my whole career into a different direction. I love painting and I love cars, and it's always been a part of my career. But the encouragement and the passion that I've seen with the BAT community has really given me the confidence to make this a far bigger part of my career going forward. You know, it was a dream of mine was to retire and paint a couple of paintings of cars, but now I realize, in fact, people enjoy them. Whether people just enjoy seeing the story, or whether people actually enjoy bidding on them. The idea that there is a community out there with passion for my work is really quite special, and it has, in the past, you know, 6 months, it's changed my life and changed my trajectory somewhat.